Hi guys, it's EsoPa, and today we're going to be going over 3 replays concerning the ever more popular 3 Musketeer E-Wiz cycle deck, where you want to be pumping up as much as possible and getting out these insane 3 Musketeer pushes and ending games through double tower chip damage. There are different variations of this deck. Most likely, the spot for improvisation is going to be with the Electro Wizard. You can replace Electro Wizard with minions, with Ice Golem, with Minion Horde is what I've seen most often. Uh, the most balanced version, to me, is definitely the Electro Wizard version. All of these variations can be played in either GC or ladder, always with ladder depending on your card levels. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at 3 replays. The 3 replays go from Hogdog Bait, that you're seeing a lot. Graveyard Cycle, the Graveyard cycle with tags deck with the E-Wiz, Furnace, Graveyard, and then we're also going to be looking at a replay of me playing against Lavahound, Fireball, and Zap, which Lavahound, Loon, Fireball, and Zap, which a lot of people would say is just a straight up hard counter. And in this matchup, we kind of take it really handedly. So just a basic overview of this deck before we begin. The goal of this deck is to pump up until ×2 Elixir. You want to be cycling your cards efficiently. Every card in this deck pretty much cycles really well and also defends really well. Everything besides like the pump itself, besides the 3 Musketeers itself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these cards are going to be used to cycle and then get to pumps and defend pumps and etc. etc. This is one of its strongest, one of its main strengths is being able to outcycle an opponent's pump answers. Things like Fireball, Poison, Rocket, Miners, you can always outcycle them. That's the whole goal of here. You want to be doing a way where you don't take a lot of damage to your towers. Alright. There will be notes that I've taken on this deck in the description, so if you want to go ahead and take a look at that, it'll be down there. I think it's very good reference material, so you can go ahead and just read it over and kind of put it inside your head as you watch this video. So the first game we're going to be taking a look at is the Hogdog Bait. In this matchup, generally, you want to be pumping in the middle because a lot of Hogdog Baits use Rocket, and you don't want to be giving them value by hitting the Rocket and hitting the Rocket on a tower and a pump. In this variation, he uses Fireball, however. I was also playing the Electro Wizard. Usually it's not Electro Wizard, usually it's going to be 8. But in the same way, it's pretty straight up. I don't believe he fireballs here. Let's see, he drops the Goblin Gang at the bridge. We are going to play the Electro Wizard, take that out, get some chip damage on with the Miner. Plays his own E-Wiz. So we're gonna drop on top of that. He gives us the Goblin Barrel as well. We're able to log that, and we have a perfect place to cycle. Now we have 2 pumps on him. We also have like almost no damage taken to our towers, and you're just gonna see us explode. So in this position here, a lot of people ask me, "Oh, but what do you do here?" Some people will say you can go ahead and just cycle, find another pump in the bottom left. Will tell me to just drop 3 Musketeers. Oh, he just fireballed. Actually, the answer is in this position where you're so ahead, both of them are totally fine. You can do either one of them. In general, I think there are 4 times where you want to be. Well, there are 4 different situations where you want to be playing 3 Musketeer in 1 Elixir. The first reason is to bait out spells so you can pump. Like playing, let's say you have pump in your hand, you have 3 Musketeers. You don't want them to kill out your pump, you can drop the Musketeers. They'll probably use a spell on it, then you can pump. Second is Lightning Rodding a push. They play Golem, you drop the Musketeers, or Lavahound. They can't get a really good lightning on you. You can put pressure on them with 3 Musketeers after they overextend. I believe this is where he overextends by fireballing and throwing a whole bunch of stuff at us. Or 4, when nothing is in your hand and a balloon is coming, then you want to probably drop like. In this situation, I take number 3. I say that you overextend. I'm going to drop 3 Musketeers. And I know that You are way behind, so I'm gonna get something out of it. I always knight with the one Musketeer. Always knight with the one Musketeer. Send out the miner. He plays log. I'm looking to prediction log. He actually plays a Skarmy in the middle. It's very smart of him. The Musketeer does connect to the tower and is getting a lot of damage in. I just use E-Wiz to clean up here, and I'm looking to pump up again. Although here, I believe I do so much damage to him that I don't really feel like I want to pump. So I guess like if you're in this position, his tower's at 174. If I pump up right now, I kind of give him a position where he can kind of come back against. So I think what I do here is actually I don't pump. I decide to just drop 3 Musketeers, and I know that the 3 Musketeers will always buy me time. When I play 3 Musketeers and they split into each lane, and you're the opponent, you don't want to go and push into a lane with the Musketeer already in there. So I think I take the more safer approach. I drop the 3 Muskie, and I kind of dissuade him from going to push into. Like, imagine if we pumped right now, or we pumped in the middle here, he could just drop like an all-out assault, and I don't really have my log, I don't really have my E-Wizard, so I can see myself kind of giving him back the game if I pump. So we're just gonna drop the 3 Muskie. And we'll probably try and pump up when we're in a good position to pump. Place the Fireball. I believe I'm going to knight here. Send out the miner. He logs out the side with the 2 Musk. We take his tower, and I know that he can do a few things right now. He can drop all of his units. He has a Hog in his hand. He still has the Goblin Barrel in his hand, but now we have all of our answers. That's a high Goblin Barrel, so we drop the log on top of it later. Able to take a little bit of damage, but now that we're playing safe, this pump really wasn't needed. It was kind of just like, I know what he has in his hand. He can't kill us as long as we kind of answer correctly. 16 seconds left. The Wizard's going to kind of clean this up here. And we're able to take the game. When you're splitting your 3 Musketeers, always make sure that when you split them, 1 Musketeer goes toward the tower with lower HP, and the other 2 Musketeers go to the tower with a higher HP. You do this because most players, when they see the 2 Musketeers, they feel like the 2 Musketeers has more pressure on them. So they're going to drop their harder counters on them. When you have 1 Musketeer going toward the lower HP tower, that Musketeer, you're always going to be supporting it with the Knight, with the Miner, with the E-Wiz. So actually, in all reality, that push is way scarier. So you want to be doing that. Alright, so the second replay is going to be against Graveyard Cycle. Against Graveyard is actually a good matchup. Most of the time, you want to be pumping right here in the middle, not at the back. Sometimes you can pump in the back. I believe in this game I do pump in the back because I feel like I couldn't pump in the middle because maybe my pump was up before after watching this. But, you know, in general, you want to pump in the middle because most graveyards, when you pump in the back, they can graveyard here like this and poison at the same time, so they get value almost always. But if you pump in the middle, there's very little incentive to go ahead and graveyard and poison like this, because most likely they'll just clean up your graveyard. Yep. Against these graveyard decks as well, you can definitely outcycle them. Because to do graveyard and poison, it's about 9 elixir for every pump, which is 6. Very hard to keep up with. We're gonna look for value here. We're trying to remember cycle as efficiently as possible without taking damage. I'm using the miner to cycle, which is actually very much okay. Plays the Electro Wizard. Play my Electro Wizard. I got back to my pump. I should be pumping in the middle here. Again. Okay, I pump in the bottom left. So here, this is one of the reasons why you don't want to be pumping like this. Because even though he barely has enough elixir to do it, he's able to get off the graveyard and the poison. and it ends up resulting in my tower taking like 1,000 damage or more just from errant skeletons. If I play Ewiz here, I definitely get super behind. So that's one of the reasons why you don't want to be doing that. I do pump here in the bottom right because I know that his graveyard and his poison are at least 3-4 cards away, 4 and 5 cards away, I mean, from getting to me. So this pump is going to go uncontested after he gets his damage here. After this though, I'll be pumping in the. You also see me never really take damage from this furnace because you just don't want to give free damage. So you'll see me drop Knights, you'll see me drop E-Wizards, you're going to see me drop Ice Spirits, Logs to counter this. I play the 3 Musketeer here because I know that he's down on Elixir and I want to go ahead and pressure him from going and just, you know, continually graveyard cycling me. Send up a Miner. The Log unfortunately does not take out my Musketeer here. And we're able to get down a lot of damage. We're going to pump up the middle again. And he's going to kind of show us why graveyard poisoning into a middle pump isn't really the greatest. Look how awkward this is. He has the graveyard up, and then he poisons. I can basically play around this poison very, very easily by just dropping my units outside the circle. I am dropping the Knight into the poison, but who cares about a Knight in poison? You want the Knight in poison. Basically heals him. JK doesn't heal. But we know that this is kind of our time. We cycle here, we drop down another pump. We actually don't need this pump right here, but it's kind of just us sort of saying we're gonna kill you, like if you don't take our tower like right now. If he doesn't take our tower within like this, within 1,000 damage, we pretty much will kill him just by Elixir alone. You're gonna see us just drop Musketeer at the Musketeer at the Musketeer and just do insane pushes. I'm sending the 1 Musk toward the tower with the least health. Doesn't have enough to poison as well. So here we just build up this massive counter push. He's not able to poison us. And drop another set of Musketeers. Play another Miner. And he just doesn't have the Elixir to kind of deal with this. Okay. The last game is going to be the Lavahound Fireball Sap game. So in this game, we're going to be looking to outpump the Lavahound. We want to keep in mind that most Lavahound decks run 1 to 2 ground units, most likely 1 ground unit. Either it's going to be Skarmy, Goblin Gang, or Skeletons. So definitely preemptive logs are going to be good here. If you're going to preemptive log, you want to pre-log right as the Musketeers sort of cross the bridge. So when their characters are like here is when you want to be pre-logging. If you're pre-logging when they're over here, like as they're crossing the bridge, they're probably never gonna play it. So you want to get the feeling down of that. Here's like the 4th time. One of the 4 reasons to play 3 Musketeers and 1 times Elixir when you don't have anything in your hand, and they drop a balloon at the bridge. So we drop the 3 Musketeers here. He shows us that he has Fireball and Loon. We don't overextend here by pre-logging because we don't know whether or not he has it yet. Now we know he has Goblin Gang. By also not pre-logging, we're able to keep our lead a little bit and pump up here. Because he fireballed us, he's not able to contest our pump. As soon as I see him pump as well, I know that this is really greedy because he has no way of defending it. We know that most Lavahound decks run 1 ground counter. So I'm able to bring this pump down very, very low with Miner. Now that I know that this is a Loon deck as well, I don't want to be using E-Wiz, so I'm going to use the Skeletons to go ahead and bring the minions into the other lane. And in this position, you have a few ways to do this. He plays the Lavahound. Typically, you want to be sending 1 Musketeer over to the Lavahound and 2 Musketeers over this way. But either way is fine. The only thing is that you don't want to be playing E-Wiz with the Musketeers while they still have a spell in their hand. The E-Wiz is the ultimate just like defense card, and you want to be always keeping it alive. So I dropped two. This is actually pretty inefficient in what I do here. I should be sending one and then two, but you know it's actually still fine. We still have the lead with this pump over here. Um, so I'm waiting on a fireball. He does fireball us. Now I know that he has to log or zap. I'm playing the E-Wiz away from the three Musketeers. And because this is still 1x Elixir and he doesn't have a pump up, he's not able to answer us. And we're able to kind of pretty much cleanly just deal with this. I drop the skeletons to minimize damage and then I pump again because I know that he has no real way of just attacking us. At the most, this one Mega Minion will get a hit on our tower. But that's in the grand scheme of things not very scary. Doesn't even get the hit. So here, like, I think I do it again for some reason. I play two Musketeers and then one, but usually you want to be doing 1, 2. But I feel like I'm in such I'm in such a commanding lead that there's no reason. I can basically do anything and still win this. I send out the Miner and Log because I'm trying to predict the Goblin Gang, but I'm off one card. Sends out the Fireball, zaps everything out. You'll still see us defend really, really well here. I know this tower is basically taken, so I'm not really going to be investing too much into that tower. There's the Log onto the Goblin Gang. We take the tower. I know that he still has Fireball in his hand, so we'll be dropping our 3 Muskies. The 3 Muskies all walk into the same lane. I'm still winning, even though I'm making all these bad mistakes. But, I mean, kind of goes to show the strength of this deck. Probably going to try and end out the game with a Miner and Log, because I know that all he has to stop us is Goblin Gang. We'll take his tower. Our towers are pretty much pristine against Lavahound, Fireball, and Zap. So you can definitely have played better than me there by dropping Musketeers correctly, but even if I didn't, it still ends up being really good. Okay, last things to say are, with the miners in general, you want to be doing a few things with the miners. It has 2 different jobs. You can use it to cycle, which we saw in the beginning, where you want to just send miners to the tower if there's nothing really in your hand else to play. Or they should be used to distract or kill off squishy units like E-Wizes, Musketeers, etc., etc. If someone plays something like a bowler back here, let's say they play bowler and you have 2 Musketeers walking up, you want to be playing the Musketeer so that it can distract the bowler. Very important. As well as that, if a tower's kind of like 400 HP or below, you actually don't want to be 3 Musketeering anymore. You want to just start Miner Log cycling the damage onto the tower. Sometimes by playing the 9 Elixir, you open yourself up to losing a tower. And then, you know, by that time, sometimes the timer runs out and you're not going to get the damage down. So just recognize when you should stop playing 3 Musketeers and just start Miner cycling. In the same way with the 2.6 Hog deck, you just want to eventually start spell cycling them out with Fireball and Log. Okay, last tip here that I was taught by Esley, one of the really good 3 Musketeer players, is there's a little trick that you can do. Let's say, let me just take a photo of this so I can write it out. Opening. So this trick was kind of more prevalent in a Fireball Poison meta, even though meta is still damn good. Fireball is still seen. What you can do is, like, let's say you play 2 Musketeers here and 1 Musketeer to the right. They walk up, they walk up. Let's say they Fireball the 2 Musketeers with the 2, like, on the left. You know how a lot of players will most times forget about these 2 Musketeers because they have so little health, right? They're gonna die to the tower. If you send out a miner and you play it right onto this middle tile, right here, both towers are going to be shooting at the 3 at the miner. And if they forget to spell out this side or play a unit, 2 Musketeers basically with no health can take out a tower like almost by themselves. It's a very nifty little trick that you can do if they're not paying attention. Yep. All right, so that is the end of the video. If you guys like this, comment, like, subscribe below, and I will see you guys next time. You guys watching.